This is Real Race Talk from Texas. It's the Revved Up Sports Show. Here's Bobby Chaffee and Rodney Rodriguez.
Wow. All right. Happy Monday, everybody. This is a live cast edition of everybody's favorite racing show. This is indeed the Revved Up Sports Show. Showtime, Bobby Chaffee right here. My partner, my DJ, who must have way too much time on his hands today.
1988.
That's
Savage
the Iceman.
Amusement.
Rodney
was the name
Rodriguez.
of that album. Saw him live at the Frank Irwin Center. That is the Scorpions. Good name of this song. It's called Media Overkill.
Oh, well.
Yeah, good stuff.
We never
right
try
there.
to do that, do we?
No. Hey, welcome everybody. Hope don't know where you are, but here first thing we do before we get too deep into this program, and we're talking Oktoberfest among other things. Oktoberfasts.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah, creative. And that's not a dig at anybody, but so. Number one, weather here is terrible. So if you happen to lose your Facebook feed, I don't know with the servers that we have set up in the studio back in the closet, I don't know if it'll redirect to another internet source or what it may do. So if the Facebook feed drops, go to revvedupsportshow.com and catch the audio version there. And then we'll redirect you when the other one catches up. If we run into a problem.
Because I know I was coming to the studio today and there was lots and lots of cloud to ground lightning strikes. And the first thing I thought about is, oh boy, those engineers downstairs are going to have a lot of fun trying to keep up with the fun stuff today. So yeah,
weather looking mucho bado. And how about the weather? I mean, we had a nice little fall thing come in last week, and it's still. I mean, I'll take 94.
Well, see,
I will take that.
It was so weird because coming up right when I left the office, I saw it up in this general direction coming up onto the north side of Austin up here. I text you and said, "Hey man, is it raining? Because it looks dark." And you're like,
Super
"No,
clear, man.
Hadn't started raining." And so when I got to 360 to try to get closer here, I showed you the pictures that I took right there by the river.
Yeah.
That was pretty nasty. And then right when I got on the expressway on that Mopac, which there's nothing really express about that expressway, they just charge you more.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. They charge you more, and you get to pay to sit in that.
That's
shit.
right. So I stayed in it, and lo and behold, it was so weird. Like the lightning hit, and then it started getting a little dark. And I looked down, and for the most of the drive up to that point to the river, the thermometer in my truck was reading 98 degrees.
Yeah.
I looked down when the wind picked up; it was at 105.
Yeah,
and I was like, "This is not good." Then
nice
it got
brisk.
then it got really dark, and then the lightning got a little closer. Lightning got a little brighter. Thunder got a little closer.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I looked down again, and the thermometer on my truck said it was 89.
That's
so
about the way that works, and that cool front is coming in. So hopefully you'll enjoy that for a little bit, because I think by the weekend we're going to be at a comfortable temperature at both Oktoberfasts.
Yes.
Coming up. So what were they saying? We got Oktoberfest asphalt and Oktoberfest dirt. I would just say
now,
Oktoberfest in Houston.
In their defense, they're not the only Oktoberfest.
No, there's
around.
plenty of
There's
them.
plenty of them.
There's plenty of them.
I mean, I would have done like Racetober,
Well,
Race-O-Ween. I mean,
this is all.
I always liked Hallow Speed. Didn't we do a Hallow Speed one time?
Who ran San Antonio Speedway back in 1997? It's their fault, because they were the ones that did Oktoberfest.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's we're giving them a hard time, but two big events. I mean, that's I just wish they weren't on the same weekend, but it is what it is. You know, schedules are what they are, and sponsorship happens, and when you have a sponsor dictating a date, that's a good thing.
Yeah, pretty. That means there is a sponsor there. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and I even sat there and messed with the Facebook camera, and it's still off. I have no one to blame this week but myself.
I don't know. Looks good to me. I mean, they could get some better-looking hosts on here, but nobody else wants to take these high-paying jobs.
I got to try to get rid of that Jimmy Johnson poster that you got hanging up in the corner over there.
That's actually an autographed. The only reason that's up there is that's an autographed Jimmy Johnson poster from 2005 or so when he was in the midst of winning all those titles. So that's why it's up there. And I'm sure we'll get it down when he retires. When he retires, we'll take it down.
I'm going to guess 2021.
Yeah, I would say with the new Ally deal that's pretty much going to be the hope. And
because they didn't say renewed with Jimmy Johnson, they said renewed with Hendrick Motorsport
with Team 48. Yeah, exactly. I got to tell you though, that team really looks like they're making strides, but he just can't avoid a wreck to save his life. It seems like
none of the Chevys did.
No, and that was
you work it together, you'll get fired, and we'll all crash together.
So, what were your thoughts on that? I mean, I don't mind. I mean, I'm from the old days when you had the one car teams and these guys just got out there and flat ass raced. But I mean, I know you got the allegiances now with the 3-4 car teams, whatever it is. But for Chevrolet or any manufacturer, any team to say, especially at Talladega, where you're not really in control of who the hell you're going to have to maybe team up with, for them to say, or else, man, forget that.
I mean, I think that the brand new 2020 Corvette is a great machine. We had lots of PowerPoints to go over.
Yeah.
Apparently, at the very end, what we decided to do is we worked on our Christmas card list.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean that's that's one.
So
that's how things get done, I guess. So.
I know, but the problem is like you live by the sword and die by the sword, right? All those Chevys are running together, mandated that they run together after they talked about that 2020 Corvette, and then bam, almost all of your top running Chevys taken out. At least a good third of them, if not half of them, probably.
That's what you get for doing
in the first
Chevrolet.
big one, and then the rest of the Chevys that were running together got wiped out in that third one.
Yeah, just a really good finish there. I was really hoping. Who would have ever thought that Roush Racing would be an underdog or a long shot to win, man? I was really hoping that Newman, just a great move right there at the end of the race. And I thought he was going to pull that out. A hell of a job. I saw a lot of guys save cars that were out of control yesterday.
A lot.
And that goes to say these guys really are the best drivers for the most part. I mean, there are some that maybe aren't, but hey, Matt Crafton running in the top. I like the top 10.
As far as a vehicle that has to not go in a straight line, I would say the Cup cars, even with some of this horsepower reduction, still probably have the power to weight ratio. I mean, granted, they're 3,400 pounds, but I mean, at the speeds that they're going with something like that, I mean, you got to see. A 3,400-pound car flipped over.
Flipping around, spinning in the air.
Showed up on every morning news station, though.
Brendan Gaughan, the star. And what a better guy to
oh, yeah.
For that to happen. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way, but, and again, we talk about Boyer, we talk about the face of NASCAR. Yeah, Ryan Blaney's great, but personalities, Clint Boyer.
Yeah, Brendan Gaughan was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, that's the perfect guy for something unfortunate like that to happen to, because he stole the show. He was on Good Morning America, for crying out loud, and he's talking about, the mom and all of that. Just a great interview, and that's good for the sport. That's good for the sport. But talk about the top 10. 5th, Michael McDowell. 6th, Austin Dillon. Corey LaJoie, 7th. Ty Dillon, 10th. Ricky Stenhouse, 9th. Ross Chastain, 12th. Congratulations to the Watermelon Man.
That's right. Got a full-time ride today.
Gig.
How many calls do you think that Al Nice has had to hit reject on today with everybody calling, trying to put themselves?
Man, yeah.
We know of one young Texan who should probably call him.
Absolutely. But the question would be, when you take Ross Chastain out of that truck, is it still going to be as fast? And that's not a dig at any other driver. But Ross Chastain is a guy that he could probably get on a mule and run it pretty damn quick.
Well, you know what I think it is part of it, if you think about the Cup equipment that he's in, right? It's not the best stuff in that 15 car. Johnny Davis has some good cars and been dedicated to the sport a long time, but Johnny Davis isn't going to have the same equipment that Matt Collick's going to have.
That's exactly right.
In 2020. So I think the reason that Ross is so good is because since he's not in top flight Cup equipment, the way that he's able to drive those trucks, like think about how hard he has to drive that 15 car.
Yeah.
The Premium Motorsports 15 versus how hard you have to drive the truck. Because the thing we've heard about the trucks with the people that we have now is that pretty much those damn things are just wide open. Like you just with those new NT1 engines and all of that.
Yeah.
Your smaller tracks, everybody has to do the little bit of aggression there at the small tracks, your Martinsville, half miles, Richmond, stuff like that. But on the mile and a half, as far as what we know, they're just flat out.
It's just really good to see, Chastain with an opportunity there. Astros lead 4-1 in the ninth, and that's a good thing if you're watching that one. Odds are the game tomorrow is going to be rained out. They've got a torrential downpour that's heading in there. But so after all of that, the way the playoffs shake out, so you've got the 88, the 9, the 14, 24 on the bottom side looking in. Who's most obviously the 24s minus 27 points back, but I think any of those cars are capable of winning at Kansas.
Actually, I think every single one of the last remaining 12 drivers is capable of winning at Kansas. That's what people talk about, how much they hate this format and everything else. I got news for you. This format has yet to fail to deliver.
And it's still the folks that hate it the most that are watching and commenting on this. And the race yesterday, I mean, go back and watch. And it was really,
had everything.
It was great to see the three on the track the day before on Sunday. That was really cool. Go back and watch those races from back then. And that's where you had the same calamity that you have now.
Can you believe Johnny Morris was not in a racing seat? He was just like back in the old school kiddie ride days.
That's crazy.
200 miles an hour just sitting on the floor pan. That is
crazy.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, Richard Childress, when he put that thing to the floor, he just kind of sitting there, and I'm like,
I bet he wasn't completely all the way strapped in.
He probably wasn't. He probably had the belts loose, just like never mind.
That's not
sore subject there.
Let's not get into that.
But that was really cool to see. But
even if they're loose, they still have to work.
Exactly. But the whole thing is this is good racing. Ouch,
ow.
That hurt.
That
hurt. Hit the MVP.
I think he's going to win it too. I think
he better damn win it. I think they're going to win every one of them. Because you should have 44 should be the MVP or the Rookie of the Year. One of the two is going to win the Cy Young. I mean, it should happen that way. Alvarez, that is, with the Rookie of the Year. But watching that the other day, and to see these guys go back and forth, and you had 3 and 4 wide, and you had the back and forth, and just a little bit of everything. And I waited. I was just waiting to see how long Twitter would blow up to see below the yellow line at the end of that race yesterday.
But I like
Totally different.
Totally different. The only thing that I have about the truck race on Saturday is that Riley Herbst probably should have won that race.
That's the crappy part.
That's the part. They just went by finishing order at the line.
Right.
I guess he ended up getting second or third.
Yeah.
Which I don't necessarily like that. Although I will say I'm starting to become a Johnny Sauter fan and even a Ryan Newman fan. Those guys used to just rub me the wrong way.
Me too.
But now it's like, damn, we need just that more realistic in it. Like, I don't know if you got to catch the tail end of the MRN broadcast for the truck race.
Nope.
He had one of the greatest quotes ever when he says, Dave Marcus told me a long time ago that this is their field, this is their bats, and this is their balls, and NASCAR will do what they want to do. In fact, NASCAR will take take the ball bat and shove it up your ass sideways, and there ain't nothing you can do about it.
And that's the whole thing. You have to have that. We've talked ad nauseum on this program. Speaking of this, coming up at 7:00, we will have Mike Meekum's going to join us. We're going to talk about Texas Short Track Racing Series and Houston, and then we'll have AB Aaron Brungot's going to be on around 7:30. We'll talk about Cotton Bowl. So we are going to talk local here at some point, but this race was just too good yesterday, or 2 days of racing, to just ignore it and to just throw it under the bus. And it's good stuff. I like that right there. James McGee says it. 3 separate intense races instead of 1 long one. And that's what this playoff racing does. And that's what we need.
Everybody hates the stages, right? Oh, it's not this, not... I don't know. It's just all it is 2 extra cautions that you just happen to know when they're coming.
The whole thing is when they used to throw the ghost cautions, people bitched about that. Now like you said, now you know when they're coming.
We know exactly when the caution's coming. Call it a competition caution, call it whatever the hell you want. You know it's coming.
And
guess what? It didn't affect a damn thing at Dover.
Well,
not even like a little bit.
And what makes it even better, Bobby, is we know when it's coming. And those teams know when it's coming, and that's why we see those hellacious runs to get those points, and the hellacious restarts. And it's good. It's good.
Best race of the year for you? It's in my top 4.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a couple of the mile and a half races, and that one can be pretty close.
Yeah, I would say. I'm looking forward to them coming back to Texas because I think that it's going to be better than it was the last time.
That Texas race was good.
It was very good. It was very good.
Because if you go back and listen to the broadcasts that we've had before, it was noticeably different.
Yeah.
I mean, leaps and bounds, noticeably different.
Oh, yeah.
If you've been to TMS and you just disliked it and you didn't think it was going to be any fun, go in November because those cars were just noticeably different. They were closer together. Hell, they actually did look a little faster. Really.
They did. And we'll have it covered here, wall-to-wall coverage. We've got a couple of shows already scheduled down there in the broadcast center, and we'll have it. We'll also cover Formula One with the Horn. We've got all of that covered. So that's going to be a busy weekend on an off weekend for the Longhorns.
I know it's going to be a lot of fun, though.
Yeah, that's going to be a good time. But we got to talk about that, Bobby. I want to ask you. So what do you think about the aero shields in IndyCar?
They're really pretty damn ugly.
They're very ugly.
When I thought of Aero Shield, I kind of thought it'd be more like Top Fuel looking ish.
Yeah.
To me, I get why they have it. I just think they needed to be a little bit more seamless.
The whole thing is it's the way it wraps around the cockpit.
Yeah.
You know, obviously on the front it looks pretty good because it's contoured right up over where the helmet is. But as it wraps around, it kind of looks like it sticks out a little bit, like when you're doing a press. Mm-hmm. And your elbows stick out. That's kind of what that looks like. And hey, again, they were at Richmond today doing another test, and obviously you appreciate the safety factor, but I'm sure they're going to twist and tweak on that just a little bit. But yeah, it looks a little gaudy.
Those tests tested nose at Richmond is the same equivalent as the NASCAR test at Richmond a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
When Austin Dillon just happened to put that stuff out on social media.
Right.
You realize that NASCAR basically told him to do that?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, they told him to do me and you were talking about it. We're like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a complete spy car, but yet he's, taking pictures of it from, 2 feet away from it.
Oh, you know what they say about social media. Oh, well, I guess we won't hear it.
Yeah.
It's playing there. But anyway.
But yeah, I mean.
It
And the motor. Did you notice the motor when I said the thing about the motor?
Absolutely.
They were testing that hybrid?
Yeah.
So the question is that going to be V6s or V8s?
V8, I hope. I don't know. Back to social media.
Well, the nature of social media is to try and come up with the line of the day. Try and come up with the funny, quick-witted line of the day for the Internet. And, the problem with the Internet is not enough people have been hit in the mouth after saying the things they say. So,
and the thing about that is, this is everything's planted right now, and they're going to sit there. They're going to work on this. IndyCar will do the same. Leaps and bounds, IndyCar, what they're doing. We had our man Mike Zizzo on here, and they're going to continue to work on that. I like what Tim said on there on the feed, and feel free to jump on there and post your thoughts there on the feed as well. You can't see the drivers, and that is the beauty of IndyCar. You have always been able to see at least the helmet. We need to talk to Mario Andretti about that and see what his thoughts are on that.
Yeah, well,
you know what he'll say. We don't need those.
No kidding.
Love talking to him the other day. We were talking about Pocono, and he's like, that's a racer's track. You just get out there and you go fast.
That's right. 2 speeds, stop and wide open.
That's exactly right. And that's Mario Andretti. Now, his speeds are fast and faster. That dude don't know when he stopped. That's cool.
Miraculous and legendary are his 2 speeds.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's good.
Absolutely. That's good.
That's
good.
it.
We'll ring the bell for you there.
It.
Hey, again, we're talking about the Oktoberfest coming up again. If you're listening from outside of Texas, what we have is an asphalt race coming up at Houston Motorsports Park, presented by the Texas Short Track Racing Association. That will be on Saturday, and that's the Oktoberfest. And then on Friday and Saturday in Page, which is on 290, heading towards Houston, right before Brenham and Giddings and all of that. We have the Oktoberfest also on dirt, and that's a lot of money on the line in that one.
Lots of money.
Dang.
Biggest purse in Cotton Bowl Speedway history.
That's a huge one, and they've got a lot of folks that are entered in that one, and that's looking really good. And we got to give a shout out to our friends at Texana Raceway Park. They were on here with us last week. Was that last week? It seems like forever the last time we were on.
Probably.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
the 7th.
Yeah.
The 7th. And man, those guys are blowing it out of the water right about now. I mean, I see people continuing to enter that race, and that's going to be huge.
Glad we could help them. Did we ever figure out if we're going to that race?
I don't know. When is that? That's the 25th?
It's the weekend after Houston.
The weekend after Houston. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Have to check the schedules. I would actually like to make that one. I want that hamburger that he was talking about.
I know.
I need a good burger. I love a good burger.
We should do a contest. Best racetrack food.
Best racetrack food. Post your thoughts right there. Because I know a lot of these tracks have gone to bring your own beer, and that's great because I can cool it myself and I can take as many as I want there if I was able to do that.
There's pluses and minuses, right? Like,
then you run out.
We know the operations over at the track, Central Texas Speedway. We know that it's a revenue generator for racetracks. We get that.
That's right.
But it's also the biggest expense of the racetrack. That beer
exactly
license is just outrageous.
Yeah, no doubt. Lest we forget the Southern Challenge in Abilene coming up this week also. I know a lot of guys are not going to make Cotton Bowl because they're doing that. And it's funny how you get to the end of the season. I was following on the Cotton Bowl thing, and it's like some guys are not going because they're going to Abilene, some guys because the car's broke, and it's like end of the year.
That's right.
End of the year. The wear and tear that you find out on all of these cars.
Oh yeah, speaking, we can let the cat out of the bag, and we're still having his people talk to our people about trying to get him scheduled. Speaking of somebody that's going to run in Abilene this upcoming weekend, Kel Westover, pretty prominent listener of the show, or I guess regular listener. Is that the right word?
Oh, I'm looking at the food thing here. Yeah.
So he is. We will have Kel Westover coming up on the show. We're still finalizing the exact date and time. May have him on next week. Really, but if he wins up there at the Southern Challenge,
Astros win.
I would like to have him on there. But like I said, we're still working on it. His people trying to talk to our people, getting it worked out. But,
Astros win 4-1. Sorry to interrupt.
Did they? Oh, hey.
But also working on another big one for next week. It would have to be next Monday. I hadn't gotten to tell you about this. I'll tell you after the program. But we're working on a big one there. Hopefully we'll be able to do that. The food stuff is popping up, and we've got look at old Chris Wright. Chris Wright Gardner checking in. The Martinsville hot dog. Well, yeah, I mean, hell, I've never been able to have one of those. We're still all going back to Martinsville. Seems to be the good stuff. Yeah, CTS did have some good burgers. Although I think I had one of those. It was on an off-race weekend. I got to tell you, Sam Hill made the best nachos and hot dogs and hamburgers at Longhorn Speedway. That was I don't eat a lot these days. When I'm driving and announcing and all that, I don't eat a lot because it just, it causes other conditions. Stuff happens at the wrong time. But I can tell you in those old days, San Antonio Speedway, when Joe Horn had San Antonio Speedway, I forget the outfit that ran the concession stand there, but they had tremendous cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
So Shane's saying that Kel might be running Route 66. I actually have to go back. I may have misspoke. We've messaged back and forth a couple of times. We're just trying to get Kel kind of wound up to get on here. So he'll be on the show before the end of the year.
We'll get him on. And that's the beauty of it. Remember, I know we've been off the air on the FM for a couple of weeks, and that's, when Texas says they want to play a game and pregame gets in the way, we're going to do what they say.
That's right.
But that show continues. Obviously, this show will be on every Monday or Tuesday, whatever it may be. So racing never stops. That's the beauty of this. Racing's like the NFL. The season can end, and we just keep going. I mean, silly season with NASCAR, and we still have to get schedules released for all these racetracks. By the way, if any of you local tracks want to release your schedule with us, you call us.
Yeah.
We will release your schedule right here on this program.
And we can give you the numbers of the viewers and listeners, just to say that we could get your information out there. So, like Rodney always says, we like to help out everybody.
And
we can't help you if you don't let us know.
And I'll give you the hint, or I'll give you a little hint. When it comes to that viewer and listener amount of people that do that, it starts with the number shitload.
Yes,
and
it does.
You can release your schedule right here. Put it on your Facebooks, put it on your Twitters, put it on your Instagrams, or
after you break the news with us.
Exactly, do it right here. We even have breaking news sounds on this program.
Oh, that's right, we do.
Yeah, we got all that stuff here. So, yes, Tim, that's right. Good burgers at the old CCS. The other question we can have: the coldest beer, because Longhorn had the coldest beer.
They did have the coldest beer.
Corpus Christi had really, really cold beer.
I remember I had this chicken fried steak sandwich one time at Waco. Yeah, it was at Waco.
My goodness.
Yeah, it was but this was 20 years ago.
Damn, you're old.
I know. I feel it.
Yeah.
Trust me, I knew it was going to rain for a couple of days.
Man, I got to tell you, I haven't felt this good in a long time. I've been doing physical therapy for my foot, and it's been hurting me worse. And
yoga, DDP yoga,
acupuncture yesterday. Acupuncture, because the problem is actually now in the leg muscles up into the calf and to the knee, and all of that's been released. I went and cycled this morning, and man, I blew it out of the water today. I hit a good number, not near as my personal record, but hit a good number. So that's positive.
There is a joke about a ball and chain in there somewhere.
Somewhere. Hey, speaking of joke, I'm not a big movie watcher at all, and I'm not.
Yes.
I went and saw The Joker last night.
I was going to ask you how that ended up going.
And let me tell you, for a dude that has realized in the last year and a half that I've got some things that need to be addressed and that there's a couple of nuts and bolts that aren't right, that is a phenomenal movie. Go watch it. Go watch that movie.
Here I am getting excited about Zombieland.
Tremendous. That guy,
Joaquin.
That dude needs to win a Grammy or whatever the hell they give you for a big movie. Oscar. That guy needs to win an Oscar award.
So it was an Oscar-worthy performance.
Absolutely. I don't know if they'll give it to him because it was awful dark. Awful dark. So we'll see. AB's getting hungry. Don't get too hungry. You got to be on the air in just a little bit.
That's right.
We're going to take a break. Coming up on the other side, we're going to talk to Mike Meekum. We're going to talk about the Asphalt Oktoberfest.
That's right.
Then we'll talk about the Dirt Oktoberfest.
And he is one of the guys that's helping organize and continue to make that cool class, the Eco Stocks.
That dude's doing a hell, they gave away a car for crying out loud the last time out. That's coming up on the other side. This is the Revved Up Sports Show from deep in the heart of Texas. Stick around.
Austin 360 Marketing is your one-stop site for all your business marketing needs. With our wide variety of products and services, we have what you need to bring awareness and exposure to your business. We believe marketing should be fun and rewarding for both your business and your customers. We can find the right niche for any business looking to impact their marketing campaign. Whether it be marketing material, online marketing, or direct marketing, we can deliver on any budget. Contact us today for your acrylic signs, banners, window and vehicle vinyl, and more. We are Austin 360 Marketing, 512-913-7693. Find us on the web at austin360marketing.com or email Gino Cimitol at geno@a360m.com. Austin 360 Marketing. We'll make you look good.
In our commitment to area high school football, the Horn is excited to introduce the Horn Webcast Network, powered by IHS Fan. In addition to our 3 high school football radio game broadcasts each week, we will provide our fans with the ability to listen to the play call from 8 other weekly high school football games. How cool will it be to sit at your game and click on the Horn app and have complimentary access to as many as 11 different games? The Horn app is your Austin area high school football season ticket. The Horn Webcast Network, powered by IHS Fan.
Why should you volunteer with Meals on Wheels?
I never thought that 5 minutes could make so much difference in the lives of 2 people, but it has.
Drop off a warm meal and get more than you expect. Volunteer at americaletsdolunch.org. Brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
From deep in the heart of Texas, it's the Revved Up Sports Show on RPMRadioTX.com. Here are the guys that make it happen. Showtime Bobby Chaffee and the Iceman Rodney Rodriguez.
Saturdays at noon, Revved Up ATX takes over the Horn airwaves. Rodney Rodriguez and Bobby Chaffee discuss the world of motorsports, including winners and losers at 12:15 and places for races at 12:45. It's Revved Up ATX, Saturdays at noon on the Horn, where Austin talks racing. #Real Race Talk.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
If you're down in Acuna and you ain't up to being alone, don't spend all your money
my song.
I know. You've had way too much free time on your hands today. You probably did really good till the Astros
Mexican
came
Blackbird,
on,
yeah.
and then you probably
I
lost.
actually worked hard today.
Really?
Mexican Blackbird, ZZ Top, brings us back.
Have you guys already started your post-game shots?
Well, it may sound like it, but we haven't yet.
No, gotta
You see, you like how I hijacked that intro there like that?
I love that, dude. It's like a lot of times when we get guys on here, it's like pulling teeth to get them to start talking.
Oh no, I'll make it awkward. I promise you that.
Well, I was wondering when you wouldn't reply today. I'm like, well, I know I forget that some people actually work. A lot of times, I start beating people up with text messages. They're like, man, I got a job, which I do too. But anyway, Mike Meekum joins us here.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for pronouncing my name correctly.
Hey, man, I'm an announcer.
He's the announcer. I mean, let's hope he gets it right.
Well, plus you guys are car guys, and everybody knows the Meekum Auto Auction. So
Absolutely.
I normally get Meckham or Meacham or somehow Merson. There's an R in there somewhere, but yeah, appreciate it. Yeah,
leave it to amateurs, man. That's
right.
So were you guys able to watch any of that game there?
As a matter of fact,
it's
on in the studio, and it's good to be up 2-1. Garrett Cole,
great.
your thoughts on it, man? So I'm hoping we get a rain out tomorrow because that's going to change up the whole pitching matchup thing.
Well, I don't have thoughts on it because I don't really know baseball. I'm just trying to make conversation.
Oh, sorry. Oh, hell, I thought you were a baseball player.
I'm one of those bandwagoner guys, and I will say I don't know how anybody has the time or the patience to endure that many regular season games. So I kind of do that fair weather thing, but I will say it's pretty damn riveting to watch baseball postseason, and it's like, man, it's worth 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever. We're up till midnight the other night watching it, but it's pretty damn exciting. So at least one of our teams is doing well this year.
So say it's cool to live in a town when your team's good. That always helps.
Well,
although your Texans aren't bad.
Texans are getting better.
They're getting better for sure. Yeah. Yeah, so how are all the professional Austin teams doing?
UT's doing just fine.
Yeah, you saw them.
Other than they don't know how to tackle, and OU still won.
There's a tackling epidemic happening in Austin. We just
that
can't
was the trick question, Bobby. Yeah. Y'all don't have any professional teams. You're talking about college.
Well, you would think they're professional.
There's only one professional sports team in Austin, and
that's exactly
the
right.
University of Texas.
We've got the Texas Stars and we got the Austin Spurs, but.
And you also have Austin. You can always say Austin,
That's exactly
just
right.
Austin itself is a great place to be.
Till you sit in traffic.
That's right.
But you're in the Houston
Actually,
area,
I guess compared to Houston traffic, it may not be that bad.
I'd rather sit in Houston, honestly.
Especially y'all have had the ACL out there, so I'm sure your traffic's not been that great.
Yeah. Then you get all the ones that really don't know how to drive. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. So, Mike, you ready for this weekend, dude? We can talk more baseball and football here.
No, I don't want to talk baseball. I'm definitely ready. I think that having the rain out, you get your hopes up, you get all excited. I think the way it works when they have these extended breaks between races just makes it that much more exciting and makes your preparation that much more exciting. Your weekend garage days, or you feel like you have a purpose. And then as the weekend comes up, you get a rain out. You just kind of have to defer that excitement. But yeah, we're definitely ready. I mean, it's gonna be awesome, especially with Rodney. I know it's here we go, right? I'm already doing the kiss ass thing, but I think you're just a fantastic announcer. And
we'll use that as a drop in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when you do your announcing, I think it really elevates the whole experience altogether. So,
well, thank you.
You go to Race on Texas and you watch the replays of the video, and you can really definitely tell your passion for the sport. So I think it's great. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm just going to go. I don't think I'm needed for this section of the show. I'm
Bobby,
done.
Bobby, you've done some announcing out there too, Bobby.
It's been a hot minute.
Right?
I might do some this weekend, but I don't know.
You mentioned that. You mentioned that, Mike. And the funny thing about it is, honestly, people ask me about that because I go into a whole different mode when I get there. And it's what that is I'm just saying what I'm seeing. And that's what people in the stands are doing this. They have that in their head. I'm just a guy that's releasing it. And I think that's why they relate so well to it.
And the sport. I mean, you know the lingo. You know where the action is. You know how to redirect the fans' attention to the fight that's happening between fourth and fifth spot when and that's just such an important part of the experience for the fans to to hear you call it and to hear you talk about the action and where it's at for guys that are maybe first timers or don't know racing that much. It takes experience from a bunch of guys turning left in the circle to, oh wow, there's really something going on there.
Yeah.
Or you talk about drafting, you talk about bumping and passing, and you talk about all the things you guys do as announcers, but being the professional you are, I really think it enhances the whole experience.
We'll be sure and get you that $500.
Can you guys hear me at all?
There's another drop. The professionals that we are. That's
absolutely. Can you hear us? You having trouble?
No, I'm sorry. I was talking to Rodney.
Oh yeah. I got you.
But Bobby's a professional too, but it's been 2012 since you announced?
I've been there off and on, but it's probably been. I think my last year was the year before it actually shut down. So I guess when did it shut down? 2013, maybe 2014.
Yeah, 13. Yeah, it was 14. Maybe I think I think we had three races into 14, and then it kind of shut down, and that was a sad day.
No, I know.
And I'll say this: I was I'm just a lowly EcoStock guy, but I had was dating a girl in those years in the Mandabach, at the end of the Mandabach era.
Yeah.
Her name was Taylor Harris. She was the 717, the Firefly Racing 717.
I remember that
and
one.
I was just, so I was her boyfriend at the time, and we used to go watch my brother race late models. He raced late models out there in the late, or I guess 2008, 9, 10, 11, all through those years.
Yeah.
And we'd be the guys that would run to the store and, get parts or make sandwiches. And Taylor just one day, she said, "Hey, I want to race." So we said, "Well, let's figure this out." We jumped in it and had no idea what we were doing. EcoStock class is a great class to get started in. It's competitive, but it's also kind of like the farm league of the racing out there. Once you get behind the wheel and race, you kind of you take to it, you get hooked on it. The culture, the environment, the whole experience is pretty alluring. So I think it's a great way for guys to get started in the sport, because you will get out there, you will experience the stuff. You'll have guys like Rodney and Bobby calling your name out over the PA.
That's right.
And then you'll get hooked, and you might move into a different class. And if y'all don't mind here just for a minute, that's what I have a lot of passion for, is trying to encourage people that want to race to send an email to hmpecostock@gmail.com,
Nice.
hmpecostock@gmail.com. And that's the kind of the email to exchange rules, information, how do you get started on it. It's really, really, really simple. It's really awesome. You can try it out and let the racing world get its hooks in you, and then you'll have a blast. Also, one more thing just to plug real quick. If you go to Facebook and you go to the EcoStock Buy and Sell, there's a group there of a bunch of guys buying and selling EcoStock cars.
Nice.
And that's a great way to find people that are either getting out of the sport or changing cars. But there are just dozens of EcoStocks up there. And, you're talking about cars that can be purchased race ready between, $500, $1,000.
That's the way it should be.
Very,
That's the way it should be.
Yeah. So sorry if I'm hijacking.
No.
That's
That's what we want to hear. I mean, because that's the bare bones. That's the bottom line right there. That's where racing starts. I mean, modifieds, trucks, all this, and they're great. But you got to have an entry level class some damn where.
Yep, entry level class, and there's a lot of guys that come from the stands that say, "Hey, I want to race," and they think, "Well, I can surely do that because it looks easy, right?" So a lot of guys are inclined to get into that class and get out there and take a swing at it. So that's another thing, guys, is if you're sitting out there in stands, you're watching the race, and you're thinking, well, these guys kind of suck. I can do that. Well, you can claim any car in the EcoStock class for $2,200.
Yeah.
So you see a guy out there like let's just say, I don't know, Doug in the 2 car who dominates every single race.
Yeah.
And you're tired of watching him win, like I'm tired of watching him win. Then what you should do is buy his car,
go beat
him, and just park it.
Yeah.
Or get out there too. Yeah.
Parking it's good.
Get out there and race it. Park it is what I'm saying. Buy the 2 car and park it.
Yeah.
Let's get Doug Gibson off of the dominant throne that he's on. Obviously, I'm kidding.
No.
$2,200 claim.
Yeah, and that keeps
good.
it all in line. Yeah.
Well, Mike, one of the things that I appreciate about the Ecos is back in the day, they were pretty rambunctious, right? It was like a rolling enduro. But it seems like with guys like you and some of the other guys that have been established in that class for a while, it's nice to see people try to race, right? It's not just go in the corner, stab the e-brake, and drift through the corner. I've noticed that the actual racing ability is kind of increased, where it's more of, when I say legit racing class, I don't want to downplay what it was, a couple of years ago, but it's turned into more of a really good, solid racing class.
Well, I think that's a really, really cool thing to say, Bobby. When I first started paying attention, in let's say 2011, 12, 13, in that period of time when Taylor started racing, Taylor's a young girl, and she's looks good, maybe, right?
That helps.
And she's fiery. She's got a great personality, and everybody loves her. When she got behind the car, it was a Honda Accord, and we struggled. I mean, it's much harder than it looks, to win and to compete, or to be in the top 3 or top 5. So what had happened was, because of her and her personality, it was actually pretty easy to get some sponsorship money coming. And sponsorship money means, a sponsor doesn't want to see duct tape for numbers. He wants to see a decal number. He wants to see his name on the car. He wants to see decals. So I think there was a shift, a paradigm shift in 2011, 12 in the EcoStock class, where guys started to care about the way their cars looked, and then soliciting sponsors and actually having decals for sponsor names. Yeah. Nam Khao Thai restaurant out in the Energy Corridor is one of our sponsors, and that's myself and Soren Rasmussen, who races the 72 car. Yeah. So he's 72 and I'm 74. So you guys need to make sure to root for us. But once you get sponsors involved, they care about the look. They care about where you finish. They don't want to see you out there banging around, getting lapped 2 or 3 times. So, I think there was a whole paradigm shift of people saying, let's take it serious. Just because my car was $500 doesn't mean that I'm not out here to get a trophy. The trophies are the same. Gina has gone out this year and got 0 entry fee on Eco's racing. So you come out and you don't pay anything to race at all. You get your pit pass, you get your buddies your pit passes. You come in and you race for the trophies, and you race for the purse money, and the purse money is decent too. Yeah. So it has an element of hey, the cars may not be as fast as the modifieds or the trucks, but we're still in the same environment. We're still competing. We still get some purse money. You still get a trophy. You're in the driver's meeting. You're experiencing the culture, and it just became serious. So there were those that took it serious, and then there were those that would just serve as lap traffic, right? And I don't want to be harsh, but that's what it turned into. Right. So around 2012 and 13 and stuff, before HMP shut down, I think there was that paradigm shift. Cars started looking nice. Cars started having sponsors, and cars started to try to compete for that win. And that's where it shifted. Mm-hmm. The rest of the guys can just go to dirt.
That's it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I remember when I took the high five down there in 2010, 2011. We ran a different philosophy there at Kyle, where we actually, kind of let off the brakes, and everybody was like, "Why are you so fast?" I'm like, "Well, hell, I'm the only one of y'all that knows how to drive. You lift going into turn 3, and sets the corner, and you could kind of drive off the corner." But I think the one thing you hit on the head is the way to get the people out of the grandstands and onto the racetrack. I don't think a lot of people, even as much as Rodney and I can talk about it all day long, for some reason people think there's this barrier of entry to get into it. And I don't know why. I mean, it's on the rules. We talk about the claim, talk about everything, but for some reason, a majority of the fans are just missing that connection. That's the way to go from the aluminum bleachers to the aluminum seat.
Yeah, and to add to the appeal is in the EcoStock class. You guys may not be aware, but this season we've opened it up a lot, right? Because HMP were so lucky that Gina and Bo have come in to do the promoting that they are, and to keep it alive, and do the marketing that they are, and for guys like you guys to give us some play and some run. But we had to open the rules up quite a bit this year to encourage the dirt guys to come over, and to also encourage other guys to come in. So essentially, what used to be like a maximum 160 horsepower and some pretty strong restrictions on foreign cars, now it's basically you got a maximum of 182 horsepower. And then really it's V6s, V4s. You can't have VTECs. You can't have superchargers, but there are hundreds of cars that qualify for the rules that we have out there. So you can see, some Pontiac Grand Ams. You can see some some Sunfires, you can see some Saturns, you can see some Accords. There are so many different cars, and these cars all look different. They drive different. They handle different. Mike, you take my car, for example. I drive a little Saturn. Now, that car is very, very competitive, but it's also, you don't look at it on paper and think, wow, it's got a lot of horsepower. It does. It's very, very low horsepower. But it's all about where's that sweet spot when you're up at 6,500 RPM and you're zinging down the straight and you got a light car made of plastic. Yeah. You can take those turns easy. So there's all kinds of strategy and stuff that goes into the EcoStock class that may not be evident from the guys, the guys that are watching the other classes, where it's really, really more about money and how confident your tech is to get your car set up correctly. In EcoStock, it's about tire pressure, tire choice, power to weight, knowing which car you have, making sure you got a car that's well balanced with its center of gravity, that's not too front heavy. If you just go out and say, I'm going to get the biggest, fastest V6 I got, well, you also have a lot of weight at the front of your car when you're hitting that brake going into turn one. It's going to want to push on you, and you're going to wear your tire down. So it's a class that's great because of the diversity of cars that you can choose.
Yeah, that power band is definitely important with those cars. Mike Meekum joins us. He'll be out at HMP, Texas Short Track Racing Series, coming up for the Oktoberfest on Saturday. Mike, one of the things that I've always thought, and you guys are not having this problem, and this is not disrespecting anybody at all, but one thing that, to me, if I put myself in the stands and I'm thinking, okay, I'd like to get out there and race, but I see you guys come rolling out, and here comes somebody that races in the modifieds or the trucks and the late models, racing with y'all and wins the race by a lap. That's an absolute turnoff. You guys have this narrowed down to where it's entry-level guys getting out there having fun, learning how to race.
Yeah, it is. It is. There have been a number of guys that have experimented with racing in the EcoStock class that regularly race other cars, trucks or modifieds. There have been. There's also been guys that say, you know what, I'm tired of dropping $20,000 on this car and the repairs for it. I'm gonna go out there and run a $500 EcoStock, and I'm gonna go out there and kick some ass. And I see sometimes those guys go out. And you got a lot of different conditions. I mean, your front wheel drive for the first time. You're driving a car that's not as responsive as you're used to, and then it's more about strategy and entry and exit. So sometimes those guys go out just assuming they're going to dominate, and they don't. And there's been a number of guys dropping down to experience that and just realize, well, it's a whole different thing. It's not just balls out. It's a little more finesse. Yeah. It's like the golf. It's like the golf of racing.
Time to get back to the trucks.
we're on both sides of it. We're guys coming into racing, and we're guys that are tired of the grind of the bigger vehicles that just want to still race and kind of step down. So it's really the best of both worlds.
Absolutely, I love it.
I know Mike's got me so fired up. I need to try to find me a ride for this weekend. Come out of retirement and drive.
Well, Mike had one, but they gave it away last time.
Oh,
that's right. Now, that's Josh Looper and the 4T4 team, which incidentally are a great bunch of guys, and everybody in our class. We got almost like this code of ethics where we try to keep high road on that stuff. But those guys auctioned off their car and gave the proceeds maybe to some kind of a PTSD recovery place, and that's super cool. And we got a lot of that going on in our class because we kind of feel like we got to get creative, sometimes to promote our class and to try and encourage people to come to it. But another thing, Bobby, so not only should you get out there and race one of those cars, but you just need to, for starters, show up and come out to Houston.
Actually, I will be there this weekend. This is the longest I've gone in my adult life at a racing season without going to a racetrack. I will be there on Saturday night. I will finally be there. Everybody's been asking the same thing. I was supposed to go the weekend it rained out, but going
to be fun.
Yeah,
going to be fun. So let's talk about this weekend. So here we are again. We got the Oktoberfest. I mean, it looks like I think what we're seeing, Mike, just across the board is we're starting to see people show up again, and I think a lot of that goes to the consistency of what Gina's doing out there. I think we're on the right path. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I couldn't agree more. I don't know. I've actually been around HMP in that environment since 2011. So through the Mandebach era, through the revival era of Raymond Delahousie and his guys coming through, which was great. I mean, appreciate him, sticking his neck out like that. I mean, we all talk about, we wouldn't even be racing October 19th if it wasn't for Raymond's initiative.
Right.
He just went out and got that started, and then the Hogans stepped in, and then Gina and Bo have stepped in. So she is a person that is extremely driven, extremely motivated, extremely likable. She knows how to manage and be stern when she needs to, and she knows how to back off and listen to others when she needs to. And she's got, I think, all of the characteristics of a person required to make this work. And and I agree, Rodney. The people are showing up. They're doing face painting. They're throwing out a bunch of swag. They're doing drawings. They're doing giveaways. She's got sponsors just coming out, left and right. She's got so many innovative, forward-thinking ideas that if this doesn't work, I don't know what will. So we are super encouraged with her efforts on it.
Very lucky.
Yeah, no, she's...
Hopefully next year too. Hopefully that keeps on rolling, because I think Gina's talking about that same full schedule next year. But it does. I hear Rodney and I hear Bobby, hear you all talking about it all the time. It requires people to show up. It's one thing to say, man, I appreciate we got asphalt racing back, but you got to show up and show that support.
Keep coming.
In person.
Yeah.
And bring your friend and bring your friend's friend. If everybody brought a friend, everybody's friend brought a friend, that's literally 3 times the patrons. So that's getting the word out, and that's what has to happen to make this work.
So I tell them at the track, Mike, I'm like, bring your enemy, bring somebody that you don't like, just bring somebody.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely. We'll find something for them.
Oh, I think it's getting there too, though. Like you have a guy like you, Mike. Like all of a sudden, like everybody knew you as just like one of the good guys, one of the guys hanging out in the pits, and now all of a sudden it's like you've stepped up, and it's like you are the EcoStock guy. That's. I don't want to just call it your class, because it's everybody's class in that group over there. But it seems like you become the point man, and it looks like it's paying off.
What it takes, yeah.
Well, I'm a point man. I appreciate that. I'm a point man, but all I'm trying to do, really, the only motivation I have behind all this is just encourage people to come out. I'm not the guy that has the history. I can't talk to you a lot about the technical side of car stuff, but I just care enough. I enjoy the track. I enjoy H&P and the culture and the history there, and it just kind of has that feel that I want to do all that I can to help promote success and progress.
Yeah.
So like the first race, I think last year or the beginning of the Delahousie era, when people said, "Oh my God, asphalt's back," we had 22 Ecos show up, which I think was probably the biggest car count of the evening.
Yeah.
And then, it dwindles, and people get a little complacent, or they say, "Hey, my stuff's on jack stand. I got to replace my fuel filter, and that's going to take me 2 or 3 months." So for me, it's more about just keeping people motivated or inspired to recognize that, man, we're lucky to have this, guys, so let's show up, let's do our part, and have the car count, bring the cars out there so that Gina can work the marketing side and bring the patrons out there. So I kind of feel I'm indebted to the track for that, and I kind of feel like that's my responsibility.
And I have to ask you for doing things outside of the job description, whatever you want to call it, just doing things to help. I mean, you guys, you took a PA system that had been sitting there for a long, long time with no use, and man, that thing, I told Bobby earlier, it's like going to a concert venue now. You roll up in there and we fire up that music and start talking, and man, you guys did some magic right there with maybe not quite the resources you need.
No, that's cool too. I appreciate you recognizing that. We had that's part also of the culture that Gina's created. Gina reaches out to people that know things. Hey, this guy might know IT. Let's get him out there to help get Wi-Fi throughout that whole area. This guy might know audio visual. Let's get him out here to help with our scoreboard or our sound system. So my regular day job that I do is with a company called LD Systems, and we do sound, light, video installations and concert touring type stuff. So one of my most brilliant colleagues, his name is Kevin Broussard.
Yep.
And he's just a sound man extraordinaire.
Yep.
And you've actually met him, Rodney.
Yeah, I have.
So
yep.
He and I snuck out there on a weekend or on a couple of work nights, and he did his magic out there, and we turned that dead system into a working system. And it does. It sounds a lot better, and it's fun to contribute in that way. So get your pipes out there so the whole grandstand can hear you.
I'll be practicing. I'll keep my throat clear and be ready to go for this weekend.
So let me ask you, Bobby. Tell me. I mean, you've listened to Rodney call a race. What is this thing that he's like? His his trademark phrase is like a hole shot. Can somebody explain to me what he means by a hole shot?
That's a horse racing term,
right,
actually. Yeah.
The good news is I taught him all of his bad habits, but I mean, Rodney's got the feel. We each have our own kind of catchphrases, and you just kind of see it. Rodney's is the whole shot is basically when somebody on the front row catches everybody sleeping and they just shag ass.
Horse racing term. Yeah. Yep.
And so
you taught him that phrase, Bobby?
Not that particular phrase. Now some other ones.
But you would say that you've been his mentor.
I got to tell you,
maybe a little bit.
I would have never become a race announcer. Bobby allowed me to become a part of their team at Thunder Hill. So I mean, hell, I don't know what I'd be doing right now. I'd probably be making real money.
Yeah,
right now, if it hadn't been for that. So yeah, I'm ever indebted to this dude. This is a guy that's the MVP right here.
Oh, sometimes stuff just works out because it's meant to be, right?
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go. It's a good
that's
thing.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a very good.
Now
thing.
I will admit selfishly that I'm the one that came up with the Palace of Power.
That's right.
That was me.
That's Bobby's. Yep.
That was me back in the Mandebach era when I first went down there right after Uncle Bob got sick with his heart deal, and so I was just down there one night and just happened to shout out Palace of Power, and John Mandebach's ears perked up, and he's like, "Wait, what was that?" And so I never did get a cut of the commission though.
Of course
on the shirts and the hats and everything after all these years.
I'm not sure there was any commission.
Yeah,
but your point is well taken.
Yeah, right.
That's one of the epic things when you first pull up to HMP is you see that big sign that says "Welcome to the Palace of Power."
There it is, right there.
Yep,
awesome.
That's all me.
Good job, Bobby.
Yeah.
Take a picture with. Funny story, Mike. Before we cut you loose, so one time I was announcing out at Kyle, and somebody was out there racing. They had a wreck and knocked the whole backside off the car, and they were towing the car down the front stretch, and the backside's off the car. And I said, that's what happens when you go to Vegas. You know what happens when you go to Vegas? You lose your ass. And a lot of the crowd loved it, but the promoter got 3 or 4 emails. Folks were, insulted by what I said. So
I used to get in trouble for the dollar beer.
So anyway.
They didn't tell me there was a NASCAR official in the bottom of the tower. And so we had a little bit of a lengthy caution, and I went down, and somebody brought me like a dollar beer and said, "Here, you look thirsty." So I did like a dollar beer toast in front of the entire grandstands, and nobody told me the NASCAR official was there. And
I still don't see why they cared about that.
Yeah, he said it probably wasn't the best idea. He probably said it wasn't the
best
idea.
How did NASCAR start? Would it have been okay if it was moonshine? I'm not really clear on that.
That's right.
I might not have been able to finish the night if it was moonshine. So
that's exactly right.
Yeah, we had Taylor again. I was talking about her in 717 Firefly Day. At the end of the race, she was relaxing with a beer, in her hand, and HMP got a nasty email from a patron that said, "Why would you have your driver setting a bad example for the young kids out there by drinking alcohol?" I don't know if you can please everybody. It's always something.
You can't. You can't.
Must have been a soccer fan. Oh my God! For crying out loud.
October 19th, guys. Just remember, it starts early, a little bit early, right? It's 5 p.m. The Eco Stocks are doing a double feature. Again, thanks Gina and Bo for allowing us to do that. So we're going to have kind of a little bit of our own version of a rain delay makeup.
Yep.
So we're doing 2 features for Eco Stocks. And so everything you see on the website that show the purse, that's 2 races. That's double everything. Double the trophies, double the purses, double the fun.
Super awesome.
Yeah.
Super awesome. Mike, we appreciate
I'm going to bring
the time.
my helmet just in case.
Take it.
That's what I'm talking about. We'll throw you. You can race if you come out there, Bobby, you can get my car.
There you go.
I mean, I don't want to take it away from you.
There you
go.
Yeah, put him in there.
All right.
We might split
the deal's over.
Yeah.
He took it away.
See.
Nice.
There's that Wonder Bread car out there, that white, I think it's a Beretta, that white car with a Wonder Bread kind of thing looking on it, like Talladega Nights kind of looking car.
Yeah.
You can hop in that car and take it around. It's still sitting out there.
There you go.
So let's work on that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Really, really work on getting Bobby in a car.
I'll have my people talk to your people, and we'll see.
I don't have people. Just talk directly to me, hmpecostock@gmail.com.
All right, that'll work.
And if you know anybody with a truck laying around, let me know, because I wouldn't mind driving one of those. So that
wouldn't be the first time we flip-flopped. Where I
We have
announced
lots of
and you
trucks.
drove.
Yeah.
It's not the
Yeah,
first
we have
time we've
lots
done
of
that.
trucks here in Houston.
Yeah.
Lots of trucks here in Houston.
It'd be good.
Rodney,
It'd be good.
I know y'all are mostly hybrids out there in Austin, but here we got
that's
a
one
lot
way
of
to
Hennys and stuff.
That's one way to put it. That's one way to put it. Mike, we appreciate the time, my brother. I'll come find you as soon as I get there, dude. We'll hook up and have a good night. It's going to be fun.
I look forward to seeing you all Saturday.
Absolutely,
All right, man.
dude. Thanks for the time, buddy,
All right.
and we'll see you this weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
Absolutely. Take care. Mike Meekum, one of the good dudes right there.
I gotta have to find all that
Lot of
stuff.
fun.
I don't know where half my racing gear. I know where the helmet and the shoes are.
That stuff still fit?
That's probably too big.
Well, that's a good problem to have.
I bought it from the gentleman that's coming up after the break.
That's it. And we'll take a break, come back on the other side. That is your Asphalt Oktoberfest preview. Dual features for the Eco Stocks coming up at Houston Motorsports Park. On the other side, Aaron Brungot, we jump to dirt. We start slinging dirt. We're talking Cotton Bowl Speedway Oktoberfest on the other side. This is Revved Up Sports Show, deep in the heart of Texas.
The Horn is talking fantasy sports with the Wagner Wire. Sunday mornings from 10 to noon. Adam Wagner gives you heroes and zeros at 10:45. Who do you love at 11:10? Just the tip at 11:45. And the best starts and sits from all of your fantasy sports teams. The Wagner Wire, Sundays from 10 to noon on The Horn. Sponsored by Audiovisual Consultations.
Discount Electronics is Austin and Round Rock's half-price computer store. They have $99 desktop computers, laptops starting at $120, Apple MacBooks from just $195, and LCD monitors starting at just $27. You can sell or trade your used electronics for store credit or cash. They have 3 convenient locations: North Austin, South Austin, and Round Rock. Computer repair is also offered at each location. They're voted the best of Austin year after year, and you can also order online at discountelectronics.com.
Tune in to Under the Lights, presented by ARS Rescue Rooter. Every Wednesday night from 7 to 9 on The Horn, Rick Epstein and Jeff Power of IHS Fan Magazine shine the spotlight on Austin area high school football. Under the Lights, Wednesday nights at 7 on The Horn, is brought to you by ARS Rescue Rooter, Bush's Chicken, Orthopedic Associates of Central Texas, Scott Felder Homes, The Lodge Poker Club, Austin Community College, and Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
This is hashtag Real Race Talk from Texas, the Revved Up Sports Show on RevvedUpSportsShow.com and HornFM.com. Here's Bobby Chaffee and Rodney Rodriguez.
Getting a call from a fan in Greece.
Really?
Apparently.
Huh. Not a bill collector, I hope.
Busy. Well, that's probably what it is.
All right, we're back here live on the Revved Up Sports Show, the live cast, both on Facebook and live at RevvedUpSportsShow.com.
Hashtag Real Race Talk.
That's right. Special thanks to Mike Meekum for coming on the show, talking about all things Asphalt Oktoberfest. And
that's ASSFAULT, the way I say it.
you know what's funny, though? How this whole thing comes full circle. Like you talked about how we
Houston-
met and all of that.
In Houston, we kick asphalt.
And now, if you mentioned before, we talked about where I got my racing stuff from, and one of the just so happens that I bought my racing stuff from the gentleman that's on the hotline right now, a dear friend of ours, someone we've known forever, who we finally crossed over to the dark side. He's now a freelance announcer too.
That's right.
None other than our good friend A.A. Ron Brungot.
2020 CBS race announcer on the line.
No.
Come on, Aaron. Come on.
I have a whole new respect for Rodney.
Come on, man.
For one of us.
Bobby can talk all he can talk, but Rodney actually makes sense most nights. So.
Well, you know, just because you got dirt in your ears, you can't understand me.
Here's the funny thing. When Bobby talks about that, Aaron, you are the guy, when you had your show at CTS, I had never really even tried to talk in. I hadn't announced at all. And you put me on your NGR on the new kids.
The Kids Club.
Yeah, the Kids
Jerry
Club.
Kids Club.
Yeah.
Yep.
You put me on that show talking to some kids about racing. I was like, this ain't too bad. So, Aaron, you're actually the one that, man, we need to have a shrine for you up in here, man.
No shrines required.
Actually,
no. Those were the fun days, man. That was when I took racing entirely too serious.
Yeah, what happened? It's gotten away from us. It's not fun anymore. Just kidding. It's still fun. I'm just thankful we have something.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that we have a lot. It's kind of funny that your October 15th show is Oktoberfest. Maybe it's Oktoberfest squared.
Nice. I like that. You know what we should have done? Dang it. We should have talked to the two race promoters and gotten them to do a dual T-shirt front and back with the two posters, because they're both really good.
There's still time.
After the fact. Great idea comes in too late. Well, that's what happens.
Man, there's ideas everywhere. It's getting them all implemented in time. That's the problem, right?
And then
time is more expensive than money.
That's what I'm saying. That little thing called dinero kind of hurts on the backside, but it's all good. Thanks for the time, dude. Glad that you're a part of this. You've been working your ass off over there, man. I'm proud of you for what you've been doing there.
You know, I'm one of many. We have there's 4 of us on a chat group, literally 24/7. We pretty much say good morning to each other and good night to each other every night, just trying to do kind of the weekly stuff. And now it's, we got 3 weeks and Oktoberfest was busy. And now this week it's crazy. We actually, as we know, Marianne hates Facebook Live. She really doesn't like to talk on the phone, a ton. But we sent her on a ton of shopping errands this week. So she said, great, you have to do all this other stuff.
Hey, that's good. That's good.
It is a good problem.
I mean, she's delegating, so that's a plus, too.
Is it her checkbook?
Yeah. Yeah, about that checkbook.
It's called grassroots. It's grassroots.
Grassroots.
That's what that is.
It's ass roots, brother. Ass roots. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I think she's using the checkbook in Sam's Club trying to get ready because not only is it Saturday night, it's Friday night this week. So she's got to be a little bit ahead of schedule.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And talk about that. So the important thing for folks to figure out, this is a 2-day event, and unlike other, and again, we're not slamming anybody else, but unlike other events, day 1 is super important.
It is because, so most of your other big shows, a lot of them do, you walk up to the driver's window and you're drawing. You draw a number, and that number is where you're starting in your heat race. And so we've kind of taken a different approach this year. When you draw up at the window, that's your qualifying spot.
Mm-hmm. I like
where
that.
Your heat race starts is how fast you are on the track. You got 2 laps to prove it that you need to be up front.
Nice.
They don't do a lot of qualifying on dirt tracks locally, usually.
They really don't. The
These
big
are all
shows when you get on the
people.
Yeah. I'm old school asphalt. I loved qualifying. It was part guessing game, and the other part was how hard can you pucker. And Oktoberfest is a name, but we want to put the fast back in it. And what makes you fast is how fast can you get around the track. And when you think about it, dirt racing is it has a challenge. The track is going to change the whole night. So what you go out there and you go out for qualifying could be fast, but you're a different track in the heat race. You're a different track in the B main, and you've got to adjust all night long. And the way we're lining them up on Friday night and Saturday night, you've got to be fast every time you hit the track. That's what I think is going to be the fun part about this. That it's going to shake up the field because you're going to have some guys that are really fast for 2 laps. And then the feature comes, and it's not quite the same race, but definitely Friday night action's going to start at 8, and so we're going to roll qualifying right off at 8 o'clock. So opening ceremonies at like 7:55, and then we're going to go into qualifying 3 cars at a time on the track.
Ooh.
So
love it.
Are you announcing that? That's going to be hard to keep track of.
I am not. I have promised Marianne that I'm going to make sure that we can keep feeding 3 cars on the track for about an hour nonstop to qualify.
Well, you guys have gotten some damn entries. I mean, I was looking at that and I'm like, man, that is a pretty damn good to get guys to pre-enter, and they don't seem to understand the importance of doing that.
Yeah, so there's people. We have had talks after talks with racers. There are a whole bunch of racers that are not entered. I know Nathan Lavender's been out there calling them out in the morning and been like, "Hey, you guys have been there all year. What's the deal?" And racers play games,
of course.
And modifieds. There's $2,500 on the line. What they don't want to show their cards, but we have several that have registered but not paid, and that list is only paid entries.
Nice.
So when you turn around and you look at picturegenerator.com's sport mods, there's 19 on there, but I can right now count 5 on my hand easy that are I have talked to within the last 24 hours that are like, yeah, I'm there, but they haven't submitted that form.
Mm-hmm.
And don't wait till Friday because we are only taking 40.
Yeah,
that's the other piece of this.
Yeah, And I think that's so important, Aaron, that you talk about there. I mean, these guys to actually to get it done, because, I mean, let's say that you are holding out and you show up and you're number 41. Sorry. You've got to find other plans this weekend.
Well, you can sit there and you can wait, and if number 41 is available and number 35 blows a motor and calls it quits for the weekend, you'll get the tap, and 41 can basically come in and fill that spot. But other than that, I mean, it's we want 40 in there. You know, there's several reasons. One is we want the 40 fastest cars in Texas. That's the goal. Number two, it's about the length of the show. You know, how fast can we get it in? If you've got 6 or 7 heat races, you're going to go till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and we don't want to do that.
Yep. I agree.
The other piece of the early entry, Rodney, that helps us is at the driver's window checking in.
Mm-hmm.
All your information is electronically already in, and we have a list at the track, and we can put it in. So when you get there late on Friday, because we all know how Austin or Houston or traffic in between is, and we may be doing 90 trying to make it to qualifying on Friday night.
Damn.
You know, we have your information. You've got to draw. If you don't have a W-9, you got to sign that real quick. But other than that, it's faster at the window getting there.
That's important.
It is important. So, Aaron, talk about the transition. Now, I mean, you've been on all sides of it. You know, you've been a fan. You've been a racer. You've been a crew member. You still help out. What's this transition like to more on the admin side been for you? Because, you know, a lot of racers, they think it's just you just show up, sign your name, race around a few laps, and take your money at the window and then go home. It's really not quite that simple, is it?
It's not. And so the hard part about this is racers are worried about getting there on Saturday night. We are trying to orchestrate 2020 right now at the same time as we're trying to orchestrate our biggest show of the year. You know, I won't lie, Marianne was a little easier to talk into a $32,000 purse for this weekend. That was an entirely different conversation that took almost 2 months.
I bet.
I imagine that was a challenge.
You know, that's him handing a check and believing in what we were doing. You know, we really changed the philosophy come July. I think that, you know, to that point, it was kind of a race by race earlier in the year. And then, you know, H said, look, this track has to pay for itself. I can't keep, you know, cutting the mortgage every month and the bills every month kind of deal. And so we've really kind of stepped up the communication. We've had a lot of sponsors, Magnum Fixture Generator, ACM Services, Browning, Good Towing, and RNG Heavy Haul, Electric S. Like, there are sponsors that have stepped up week in and week out to help us make this happen. And then when you add up just sponsorship in the last 3 months, $16,000.
That's awesome, man.
Is what sponsors have put in. And the thing about it is Marianne and H haven't taken a single bit of that to operate the track. Yeah. That has all gone back to the drivers.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a beautiful thing. So let's talk about that. This summer, I kind of started when I got to get out there. It was the Summer Showdown series, which you in large part put together. That one right there really seemed to make an impact, man. There were so many cars there, so many modifieds, and that racing and those programs were just clicking.
It was, and so when you look at the first 7 race nights, car counts, they were okay, but they weren't paying the bills. Like regular race nights, just they weren't paying the bills.
Right.
When you look at social media, when you look at people, they're looking for events. They want something that gets their attention.
Things to do. Yep.
Yeah, and things to do. And the thing about it is, it's just a regular night. I can catch that another week, you know, or, you know, it's no big deal. You know, I'll get that down the road. And so you really have to give them a reason to show up. This is the week that you need to show up. And that was kind of the goal of Summer Series was IMCA allows draw-redraw night. So that's kind of a field leveler where it's like the first night of racing. And so we threw in the draw-redraw. We had several sponsors that threw in money. And so it's like, wait a minute, let's let's do this the right way. We stopped and we planned it out. And so we put 3 race nights together, not just one.
Yep.
Come out for 3 nights. Best average finish of those 3 nights gets X bonus money. And that really was a game changer. When you look at what it did with car count, so we did that in the IMCA classes. Car count for those classes went up 50%.
I believe it. There's a lot of cars there, man.
You know, you went from averaging 12 modifieds a night to 20 for 3 nights in a row.
Yep.
You know, and those guys are looking for, you know, the national points. There's some of those big guys coming out of town. They're trying to run the national points, and they've got a shot with a full car field to get maximum points, and they want to do it.
Yeah.
So it was really a good game changer, you know. And then you turn around the street stocks and the factory stocks, you know, they're feeling left out. And it was like, hey, don't worry about it. We got you. And so we did the Texas two-step, and that was great. 30% increase in car counts in those classes because they had an event and a reason to come.
Right.
You know, and there was a lot of fear because that big TMS race was the same night as the first Texas two-step. But honestly, it turned into a stock car race. I mean, yeah, the modifieds, a lot of those modified guys went north for the big money, but you know,
expect
it had
that.
success.
Yeah. You expect that.
They're looking for the event and the mystique of racing at TMS dirt.
No.
You know, that's what people want, and that's the goal with Oktoberfest here. Is the mystique is locally you don't go against the clock. You don't really set track records or anything like that, and here's your one opportunity in the year to go against the clock and prove not just the best draw, but I'm the fastest.
That's it.
So, Aaron, what's been the harder thing? Has it been harder to have the drivers buy into this new thinking, or has it been harder to try to get the fans to come out for the first time?
The driver problem and the fan problem are 2 different problems that you have to solve 2 different ways. And so, yes, we've had a lot of sponsor money put in that we have concentrated on working on the driver, and that solves part of your grandstand problem. But one of the big differences here is for Oktoberfest is we actually have a sponsor that is sponsoring digital media advertising for the event. And so we've been doing tests, like the Summer Showdown's a test, Texas Two-Step is a test. We're trying to figure out how we're redesigning the program in 2020 to be successful for the racers, for the track itself. You know, we don't want to say, hey, we got to go borrow $15,000 to try to put on a show because it's not happening.
Right.
Everybody needs to be successful. You know, when you show up to the racetrack, racers have a huge cost. You know, Rodney, you said earlier in the show, you know, the end of the year, what we're finding out, my motor's blown and I ain't got no money left. You know, I need Christmas before I can make it. And sponsors are a huge piece of it, not just for the track, but for the racers, you know. And Rodney, you've got a dwarf car. How hard is it to get somebody to buy you some tires for that dwarf car?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Besides the wife, I know you bribe her all the time.
Yeah,
Honey, don't look.
Poor thing. She's buying all kinds of stuff.
The motor, the rear end,
everything.
Springs,
another
the
car.
Steering. Yeah.
Rodney, but you sound like you're rough on equipment there, Rodney.
Yeah, you know, stuff just doesn't stay together. I think it's a maintenance what gets in the way.
Or the dirt part of it.
You're
not used to that.
Let me ask you this, Aaron. Speaking of that, like speaking directly to me there, I think it's so important. And one of the things that I realized is, like for myself, when I was doing a lot more racing than I am now, because now I'm doing jack shit. But when I was doing a lot of racing, what I would do is I would jump on social media and say, hey, you know, here I am. The folks that knew me, I'm going to be racing at South Texas Speedway this weekend, or I'm going to be racing at Cotton Bowl Speedway this weekend, or I-37, or Kyle, whatever it was. So important for these drivers to help the track out. The track can do what they're going to do, but these guys and ladies, we have to help move the wheel as well.
For sure. Like the simplest thing, and I know that if you talk to Marianne, when you mention social media, you talk to any promoter, they pretty much cringe. You know, the simplest thing is when the track posts stuff out there, share it with your friends. You know, we have people like Steve Sims. They're always plugging. They'll go to customers' houses at their day job and, oh, yeah, you should come see me Saturday night. We need that stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, there's no doubt. But that's a one-to-one relationship. And you got to get a one-to-many. You know, going back to the solving the fan thing, part of that is getting the word out. So many people have said, I didn't know Cotton Bowl Speedway existed when they find out.
Yeah.
So there's this whole attention marketing strategy that you have to do, and that's the focus where the money that we have that we're spending right now leading up to Oktoberfest has led to over 50% increase in traffic to the website. One, the websites communicate to the customer. And so, we've really trying to get back to that focus of where the information's there. But two is it's name recognition.
Yep.
That you get it out there, it's going to take them 7 times before they really act on something that they see. So it's we're building momentum for 2020. That's the good thing. And, for the longest time it was, man, we hope there's next year. And I think that, in July, it was the change in that attitude of, we don't hope it's next year. How do we engineer next year? And so that's been the fun thing with working with Marianne. Marianne can tell you there are some nights that she hates me beyond belief.
Yeah, she mentioned that. No, I'm just kidding.
No, she has in front of the drivers' meeting on Saturday night. It's asking yourself those tough, hard questions, and that's even us as a racer is talk yourself up. When you look at the social media page for Facebook, it's reaching over 1.5 million people. A vast majority of those in Texas.
Perfect.
That is a great thing for sponsors. It's not just about the backstraight billboard and things like that, but that's how you reach the new blood. We've actually reached out with Susan G. Komen, and in this process of trying to do Oktoberfest, have developed quite a relationship where I think in 2020 you're really going to see Oktoberfest change. The ideas came about, like we talked about, the stuff came into play a little bit too late to pull it off.
Yeah.
We're going to bring people to Cotton Bowl that are not familiar with Cotton Bowl is going to be the fun thing in 2020 for a good purpose. When you look at, we have, you were using the Brungot Farm store to actually sell merchandise, hats and T-shirts that Cotton Bowl hasn't had in a long time. But we're not just selling them to sell you something to get money. $5 of that is going into a purse fund for this Oktoberfest, and another $5 on the T-shirts is going to Susan G. Komen. So we're trying to use stuff for the good and do good stuff. But at the same time, it helps because every one of those gets the word out about the racetrack when they're wearing that on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, Aaron, so before we run out of time here, recap the race weekend, the schedule, the purses, all of that you probably, knowing you and your prep, probably have all that right in front of you.
He's got it in his mind.
Yeah. Well, it definitely runs through my mind. It's like a runaway train at 6 a.m. every morning right now. So Friday and Saturday night, 18th and 19th. Friday night's action starts at 8 p.m. on track with qualifying. Of course, teams getting there early, packing the track. Opening ceremonies at 7:55. Saturday, we're starting a little bit early at 6:30. It's fall. Things get darker a little bit earlier. Joe Cantrell was having a postseason party.
Of course he is.
Bobby, Rodney. Joe promised me he's trying to get a head count. So everybody reach out to Joe Cantrell. Facebook message him. Make sure you tell him he's coming.
Is he buying the
you
booze?
Never know. Hey,
he's got the good stuff in the trailer.
Yeah.
I don't know him to drink a whole lot of beer. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, I know. I've gotten drunk with him, or I've had drinks with him a couple of times, and I wake up and he's still there.
I think the road to his heart goes through Knob Creek.
Yeah, something like that. He's a Junior Johnson around here.
32,000 on the line, so there's definitely going to be some people that will be able to afford some Whataburger or some beer on Saturday night when it's all done. Craig's Victory Lane is going to be busy, but we got modified sport mods, IMCA stock cars, Browning factory stocks, the street stocks, and sport compacts, along with the trucks on Saturday night. So it is just packed full. But Rodney, what happens when you put a lot of money up for grabs in a race?
People show up, my friend. People show up. And the fans show up, too. The fans show up because these drivers are telling them. And the action is hot and heavy.
Yeah, and that action, hot and heavy, is definitely going to be the case. We've seen some crazy nights when there's some big money because, you know what? I want my piece of the pie. So we look forward to it. I think that, it's a good way to go out this season. I mean, we've done a lot of tests in the marketing stuff. I feel like, there's people hey, what about the banquet? News is coming. We're a little bit on a one show at a time.
Yeah, who cares about that? Let's go racing, man. Just kidding. I know that's important.
Rachel's pretty good at setting those up, though. So
she probably already has
Rachel's already got it done, yeah.
No, Rachel's been busy. Monday we had about 18 entries into the race. And so, she's doing the paperwork and things like that when they come through. So we're keeping her busy this week.
That's good. That's a very good problem to have. Hey, and Mary Ann chimed in. Don't forget, if you're going out there Friday, Thursday, hell, whenever it is, free camping. Show up, bring your stuff, and the weather's going to be perfect. It's going to be a little the next
You might
tomorrow.
actually want to bring your jacket on Saturday night, Rod.
Might get to build a fire out there. Might get to build a fire. How about that?
Well, check the local rules. Make sure that there's not a fire ban.
Yeah, we got to check Lee County burn ban. I know Williamson County lifted theirs.
Yeah.
Well, it just depends on which side of the track you're on. If you want to have a bonfire and Bastrop says yes, you go to 1 and 2. And then if if it's on the other side, right? I always told if you fight in a parking lot, it's Lee County. If you fight in the pits, you go to Bastrop County.
There it is. Love it. Hopefully there won't be any fighting this time. Well, hopefully there won't.
The front gate is different. I know that the front gate is in one county and the back gate is in the other county. That much, I think I remember hearing it that way.
Well, and it's funny that the cemetery is out the back gate.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully nobody ends up there. Go fight there.
Well, it is. I think everybody will be good. Here's the other piece: is there is actually a third gate that is opening to the neighbor's field through the pits. Because we may have an issue come Saturday night where we have the truck series in the sport compacts that are showing up on Saturday, and they may have. It's kind of like trying to find a parking spot on Black Friday at the mall.
Hey, that's
a good problem to have.
I remember one time, AB at CTS, we had a big event out there, and we had nowhere to put them, and we had to figure something out. And that's when
they parked over the septic tank, and then they wondered what the sprinklers were doing.
Well, we didn't direct them there, but shitty situation indeed that was. But anyway. Aaron, you guys, I got to tell you, that momentum shift from July has just been phenomenal. I'm so glad that I've gotten to go out there and help you guys out and be a part of that. But I think this is going to be this could be, you talked about that paradigm shift. It's already happened. I think this could be the one that really gives it that nice kick in the booty and really just puts it into another atmosphere coming up for 2020.
Oh, for sure. Rodney, I'll tell you, there are conversations with national sponsors going on, and some pretty cool stuff that can happen in 2020. And the success of this race, I won't say it relies on that, but it only makes it that much more concrete that we can go do some of this stuff for next year.
Absolutely. Glad to hear it, man.
Got confirmation from Liz Mayhew that Lee County is the front gate, Bastrop County is the back gate.
Hell, she'd know.
That's right.
That's the one right there. That's a deed holder right there of deed holder of many things out there is Liz. And speaking of we're doing this talked about getting Komen involved. I mean, we're loving on Liz and we're hugging her when we can and lifting her. I mean, what a battle there for her.
Racing's been her life support in this whole deal, Rodney. Honestly, I know that people have been sending her cards and stuff like that in the mail, random strangers included, but. What's crazy is just her work ethic working behind the scenes in this group. She has been nonstop through the entire deal. Yeah. Like she was driving home drugged from surgery and 100% plugged in. We were like, Liz, go lay down.
Yeah, if I try that, I get arrested. Not the drug part, but anyway. Well, I've done that, but
yeah,
Aaron, I tell you, man, you bring a whole new element to this, and you're taking it to another level. And they're very fortunate to have you on the team out there, and congratulations, man! You guys, it's been a stellar second half of the season, and I know this weekend's going to be huge.
I think so. I have a massage booked on Sunday at 10 a.m. to probably recover.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. hopefully you're still not at the track at that time
Yeah.
with all these cars you're going to have showing up over there.
I'm sure we can find a truck bed to sleep in or whatever we have to do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be fun,
Rodney,
man.
I appreciate you guys. Revved Up Show. I know it's Longhorn Town, but you guys do an awesome job representing racing, man.
It's all good. We appreciate it,
We
dude.
try. We try what we can.
Keep on keeping on. Keep on making it happen, and keep them in line out there, dude. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
You got it. Take care. That's two passionate people that we talked to tonight.
That's right.
And that's really what this sport on a local level is all about. It's about these folks that I don't know if Mike Meekum and Aaron are getting paid for any of this, but I can tell you the hours that they spend on all this.
Oh, yeah.
I doubt they're getting paid.
Doubtful.
Their pay is in the success and they're serving. They're giving back.
The reward
Yeah.
of a job well done.
Yeah, and that's super important. So, again, if you missed it, you've got Friday night and Saturday night at Cotton Bowl Speedway. You've got Oktoberfest on dirt. And then on Saturday, make your way out to Houston, the Texas Short Track Racing Series on asphalt. Race on Texas. I'm not sure where Race on Texas will be. I think both of those will probably be
I think they have more than
tape
one
delayed.
crew,
Yeah,
so-
yeah. So probably both tape delayed. But fun shows. Get to one of them.
One of the two of them. They're both going to be great.
Yeah.
And we know lots of people at both, so we can actually say, pick one or the other, and if for some reason you can't, find a local short track and support it. You never know how important one attendance person is at one of these racetracks. Your single ticket can make the difference between a 2019 end of the road and a 2020 hello next year, let's have a good time.
Yeah, and if you happen to get out to one of these places and you're at the track and you see Gina or Marianne or Aaron or Mike or any of these folks that we have on these airwaves that are sitting here doing this stuff, just go thank them. Go thank them. And whatever happens, either place this weekend or coming up at Texana, we still got races at 37 in South Texas. Whatever happens, something happens that you don't like, contact them directly.
That's right. Don't get on social media.
Let's not beat them up. Everything is so important right now to keep this momentum moving forward.
That's right. Because here's the one thing you got to think about social media out there, guys. If you use social media as your platform because you want to be heard, you can accomplish the same thing with much more positive results by contacting the powers that be directly.
Yeah, and here's something to talk about. When you talk about progress and all of this, last year, 2018, I don't remember what was going on, but here we are coming up October, 19th. Let's just use Saturday. October 19th in South Central Texas, we've got a huge dirt show and we got a huge asphalt show happening at the same time. That's a damn good problem to have from where we were. This is rising. This is rising. It's coming back up. And thank you all that continue to make it happen. And that's super important.
That's right.
Coming out of the dark. It's good stuff. Oktoberfasts. Catch them both. Thanks to Mike Meekum. Thanks to Aaron Brungot. Bobby, thank you for getting here through all this.
I know.
mess out
Hopefully
here.
it's not that bad going back south.
Yeah. Hunker down, watch your weather forecast. All of our archives are at RevvedUpSportsShow.com, at HornFM.com,
and we'll be back Saturday, right?
RPMRadioTX.com. Back on the air Saturday.
Back on the air Saturday.
That's right. Catch it at noon. Revved Up ATX as we talk on the FM. Break down Talladega some more, and who knows what else. It'll be fun.
Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. Get your ass to a racetrack within the next month or two. Support this. Let's keep it alive. Remember, be nice to someone. You never know what they're going through. You're going to feel better afterwards as well. For Bobby, I'm Rodney. Have a great week. We'll see you this weekend and next Monday.